Hello, it's about 4 o'clock in the morning on the 23rd of April 2020. My name is Martin Rankin and I'm a GP. I work for the Manx Emergency Doctors Service. I work nights. I usually start at about 6 in the evening and work through till 8 in the morning. I haven't had a day off since the 8th of March. I'm getting quite tired. I've been doing some work at the 111 centre as well. There's been some amazing stuff done here and I need to tell you about it because I want you to help. The building that you can see behind me is a brand new building with our building to create medical oxygen. The building behind me is the new Newlands ward, which used to be Ward 20. In there people are fighting for their lives at the moment who are suffering from COVID. It's only me on duty, there's no receptionist. I wanted to show you that, but I've got to get back in case anybody phones me. Okay, we're back inside. This is the room where I do most of my work. This stuff is all preparation. We're getting 4 cars ready for the Isle of Man, so that if we get a surge in cases, we'll be able to attend people's homes. Obviously the one car that Meds normally uses won't be able to work. I don't want to see this happening. I really don't want to see this happening, and I need your help. These are the graphs that show the number of cases across the world. They're not speculation, they're actually the real cases. We're almost 3 million people have been infected. And if you look at the black line, that's the number of deaths. It's about 180,000. That's more than twice the population of our island have died in the last month of COVID. Okay, a virus is something which isn't alive. It's just like a piece of computer code. If it gets into one of your cells, it will make your cell's machinery produce more copies of itself, and those copies will then infect other cells in your body. And if you sneeze or cough or breathe and they go into somebody else's body, it will make their cells do the same. The virus only survives if it's inside a living body. We know it works in humans and bats. It might work in cats, we're not sure. But it has got to be in another living being to actually be able to survive. If it's outside of a living being, if it falls on a piece of furniture or something, it can survive a maximum of apparently 3 days. Now the key thing is, if we can stop the virus spreading, we can save our island from going through the misery that we've seen in other places. And there has been some amazingly good news. The plot of the new cases in the Isle of Man over the last month. On average, we've had 300 cases in the Isle of Man over 30 days. That's about 10 a day. But there was a peak in the middle of the month. But the key thing is that the trend now is going downwards, and actually yesterday we had the first day with no cases. Now, that's because the lockdown has worked, because you've stayed indoors and you've washed your hands and you've covered your faces, and the consequence of that has been this wonderful result of a day with no new cases. Now, if we just keep going, we will lick this. We just need everybody to stay indoors and keep following the lockdown for a bit longer. And I'm really, really sorry if this affects you in an adverse way, but until we've had at least a week without any new cases, if we let the lockdown go and people start going around again, it will start spreading and we'll go back to the same scenario that's happening everywhere else in the world, and it will just be misery. We don't want you or anybody that you love to be fighting for their lives in Newlands. Please, we need to respect the lockdown until we've had at least 7 days without any new cases before we start making any relaxation of the lockdown. This is just so crazy. It's so crazy. Please, please, please do not relax the lockdown until we've got the disease eradicated. Once it's eradicated on the Isle of Man, we can open shops so that people can start to have a more normal life. We can move around much more freely so people can enjoy the summer. we'll have to keep the border closed so that people can't come and bring new cases to the island. But if we just cling together on this last few days, we can nail this. If we don't, what's going to happen is that the disease will come back. We'll then have to have another lockdown. The lockdown will have to be longer than the one that we've just had, and this will all be repeated over and over again until we eradicate it on the island or until there's a vaccine or an effective treatment. So please stay at home and do not relax the lockdown.